Hi, everybody. I'm Stacy.
And I'm Mickey.
And welcome to KiddieNomics. Yay! We have another fun-filled Friday of kids' financial literacy with KiddieNomics. And we have a great special guest today. We have the amazing, I'm trying to find a Z adjective to describe you. So I got like zany, but I didn't like zany. So, but anyways, we have the awesome Mr. Zamal Whyte. We are super excited to be talking about what's a mutual fund? What's a mutual fund, right? So we're back into the investment mode now of KiddieNomics. We had focused on real estate for the month of March, and now we are doing investments. So that is super fun. And it's April Fool's today.
Yeah.
Did anybody play any pranks? I'll ask you guys when we do roll call, okay? All right, so let's get started on KiddieNomics. 1 second, I'm going to share my screen, okay, while we start. 1 second. All right, so here we go. Welcome to KiddieNomics. Let me open up my chat box. Let me just see who is there today. Layla, hi. Josh, hi. Alicia, hi. Hi, everybody. All right, so welcome to KiddieNomics. We'd like to welcome all of our new kiddies that have joined us this week. If this is your first time on KiddieNomics, welcome. Thank you for joining. We did have a bunch of new signups this week. So if it is your first time, I like to tell all new kids that if it's your first time, please put in the chat box that it's your first time, and our kiddies will welcome you to the KiddieNomics community, okay? And of course, if it is not your first time and you're here with us week after week, we love you for being here and welcome back, right? Yeah. Yay! All right, so let's start KiddieNomics.
Can I read?
Yep, go ahead.
KiddieNomics will help ages 8+ to
Slow down. You always go super fast.
Okay.
It's not about how fast you can read.
KiddieNomics will help kids ages 8+ to develop a healthy relationships toward financial literacy, helping to start off kids on the right path to have a successful financial future.
Yay! All right, so that's what we want. Next time you got to read it louder so people can hear you, right?
Yeah.
All right, so hopefully everybody heard that. So our goal is to have everybody start off their path on a successful financial future, and you're going to do that through financial literacy, right? So that's what we want for everybody out there. That's what I want for you. That's what we want for our guest expert today, of course. So that's what we hope that we have for everybody out there. So let's just go through some of our housekeeping items.
Can I say it?
Yeah, hang on. So please remember that every KiddieNomics webinar is recorded, right? So it is recorded, and then we post the video on our KiddieNomics YouTube channel, which can be found
On YouTube.
On our YouTube channel, and it will be posted by 8 p.m. or around 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Friday after we do our KiddieNomics webinar.
But she mostly gets it done during like 7.
Yes, I do get it done faster, but I give myself until 8, right? Just in case anything, you need some extra time, right? And of course, please remember that we cannot see or hear any of the kids that join us, and that is to maintain everybody's privacy. And so the way that we communicate is through the chat box that's either down below, up above, to the side,
Or to the corner.
Or to the corner, right? So it is always in the chat box that we communicate. And please, we always want to keep the chat box very respectful. Please be kind to everybody in the chat box and respect everybody in the chat box. And always remember that we do have kids that are younger than 8. And sometimes older than 13. So please be kind a lot of the times, because sometimes we have little ones, like little ones that ask the questions repetitively, but that's okay, right? And of course, we always want to keep a healthy and safe environment here on KiddieNomics. So always remember that we never want to see any personal information about you. So no email addresses,
no phone numbers,
no phone numbers,
no
anybody's actual ages.
No IDs.
Of course, no IDs, right? So no personal information about you. That's what we never want to see in the chat box. Yeah, I think I said no ages, but that's perfect. No ages, right? Okay, Natalie, I'll change your name. Give me a second. But yeah, so that's what we do. I think that's all of our housekeeping items before I get into roll call. But let me just double check the chat box. Marlon, my teacher pretended. So Josh says my teacher pretended that today was his last day. Oh no!
Oh yeah, we tried to prank our teacher, but that didn't work out.
You tried to prank your teacher?
Yeah, Miss G.
Oh,
She already knew.
Oh no, he got you. Your teacher got you, Josh. Let me see. Marlon, April Fools. Timlin, you said I switched teachers with another teacher and they said they were switching permanently. Oh, did you like the new teacher? Did you like the new one? Our principal played a country-based Canada. Oh, like a country music based Canada. Oh, okay. I like country music. So you didn't like it? So did you like it then, Timmy? Let me know. I like country music. Kelsey, my class April fooled my teacher and she looked so confused. Yeah, what was your prank? I pranked my mom. Oh, Josh. I'm not gonna read that one. I'm not gonna finish reading that one. That one is
I pranked my mom too.
That one is a really, really interesting prank. Okay. Melanie, I played with the remote of our smart board. Oh yeah, at school. Got it. Natalie, knock knock. Who's there? Boo. Who? Why are you crying?
No, boo hoo. Why are you crying?
Oh, boo hoo. Why are you crying? Okay, I get it. Last year, Melanie says my April Fools in my class was better than this year's. Oh yeah? I wonder what happened. What did you do last year? My class started putting fishes on my teacher's back. Did they notice? Did they notice, or how long did it take them to notice that there's fishes on their back? Did that take a while? All right. Okay. Let me see. It was a really long prank. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So now let's do roll call, right? Ready? Please tell me. Roll call. I forgot to do that. Roll call. All right. Roll call. Please tell me, which country are you joining from today with us? So where are you joining us from? Let me see. Let me just see. Okay. Kelsey says nowhere. Nowhere. Well, it has to. Well, nowhere is still somewhere. Did you realize that? Yeah. So you're still somewhere, even if you're joining us from nowhere. Ah, I got you. Layla says April Fool's Land. Ooh, fake snakes on your teacher. Ooh, that's a scary one. Josh says Michael Jackson's Neverland home. You know, he doesn't have it anymore, right? It was sold. It's too bad. Timlin says Universe, Solar System, Earth, North America, Canada, Ontario, Burlington. I always love how you go through the full gambit to pinpoint exactly where you are. It's always a good one. Timmy says World, Canada, Ontario, Toronto, Oshawa. Good job. Alicia. Okay, Alicia, I'll change your name. Okay. All right. Thanks, Josh.
Thank you.
All right. I won't forget Mickey because you kindly reminded me. Brielle says New York, Jamaica, Trinidad, Canada, Toronto, Mars. Those are some good places, boy. I love those places. Minus Mars, because I've never been there. Let me see. Who else here? Let me see. What did my math book say to the other? Okay. All right, Natalie, you're doing a joke. What did the math book say to the other?
Can you solve my question?
Can you solve my problem? Oh, what did the math book say to the other? Can you solve my problem?
Yeah.
I get it. I get it.
Tom Holland is overrated.
Oh, Tom Holland. Kelsey, that's a nice one. Why? He's Spider-Man, right?
He's overrated.
Oh my goodness. Okay, who said Mars? Carlene says Mars. Nice. Okay, all right. Now let me ask Mickey. Mickey, where are you joining from today? Because I remember because Josh reminded me.
Let's see.
Canada.
Let's say I'm from Barbie Dream House.
Barbie Dream House?
Yeah.
You don't even play at Barbies. That's a good one. You never played with Barbies.
Yes, she does.
She
does.
No, she doesn't.
Yes,
All
she
right.
does.
Okay, all right. And thank you very much. Thank you very much. Timmy says, life in the dream house. Yay. All right. And okay, hang on, Zamal. And the next question is birthdays. Did I miss any birthdays between last week and this week? So if it's your birthday, let me know in the chat and we will say happy birthday to you. So is there any birthdays that I may have missed? Any birthdays? 3 more weeks till your birthday. Okay. My birthday was 2 days ago. Okay, yay, Kelsey. Yay, happy birthday. Happy birthday to yeah. Okay, we
Wait,
can.
isn't that somebody's birthday?
I don't know. Whose birthday is it today?
I don't know. Somebody said that their birthday was like this Friday.
I don't know. It was no, Kelsey says her birthday 2 days ago. Josh says 3 more weeks till his birthday. And somebody else is in August. All right. Timmy's in June. All right. So if it is your birthday, please, please, please let me know in the chat. And of course, I'll wish you happy birthday. Look, Micah's wished you happy birthday, Kelsey. That's awesome. Layla said her birthday's today. Oh, Layla, your birthday's today. Did I miss it? I didn't see it.
Oh.
Yay!
No,
Happy
she's
birthday.
lying. She's lying.
Oh, stop tricking me. Oh, was that April Fool's?
Oh.
Is that April Fool's? All right. Okay, cool. All right, you got me. You got me. You got me. All right, cool. All right, let me introduce our guest expert. Zamal, can you please let me know if you're able to turn on your camera now? Let me know. Okay, hang on 1 second. Just give me 1 second, guys. I will.
It's saying it's disabled.
Yeah,
My video.
I gotta. Okay, so let me finish. Let me do your bio, and then I will go back in and
Okay.
you're at the
Awesome.
Okay,
Thanks.
1 second. All right. Okay, everybody, we have Mr. Zamal Whyte with us. He is a financial planner from Bank of Montreal, which the acronym is BMO. So if you guys ever see BMO out there and you don't know what BMO stands for, it's Bank of Montreal, which is awesome. And so Zamal is a graduate of McMaster University with a degree in chemistry. Who in here likes science? What? What? That's crazy. No, no, oh my gosh, Josh is saying boo too. Yay, Kelsey, science, yay, yay. Science is so important. Okay, no to science.
Yeah.
Okay, well, oh my goodness. We used to have some chemists in here. That's okay, that's okay. All right, chemistry and in economics honors. Woohoo, he's super smart. He brings to his role 23 years of experience in the financial services industry. He can significantly enhance his clients' overall long-term financial success with personal attention, proper planning, and ongoing counsel. He also works with qualified and dedicated associates within the BMO Financial Group who can provide specialized services to help ensure that his clients' needs are financially met. So everybody give a great KiddieNomics round of applause to Mr. Zamal Whyte. Hi, Mr. Zamal. Hang on, I'm going to stop my screen and then I'll be able to, give me 1 second. I can, there you go. You'll be able to share your screen now. Go ahead.
All right, there I
Hey,
am.
Mark.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi, everyone. This is so exciting. I mean, I think I'm more excited than you guys just to get a chance to talk to you guys, right? And I mean, and all those lovers of science like Caroline and Natalie, I love you guys the most because it's all about the science, right? Michaela was giving me like thumbs down on science. Like, hey, listen, that's why I'm in banking. I actually stopped it myself, but I had to finish the degree. That's a longer story for another day. But yes, very excited. Thanks, Stacy. Thanks, Michaela, for inviting me to this. I'm just here to share some information with you guys, and I know you guys are well learned in the things that you do. So I mean, and that's very exciting. But I have some other stuff to share with you just with regards to mutual funds, and you guys probably have heard about it before, and then maybe you haven't, but I wanted to share just a little bit of some tidbits. So when your parents start to talk about your education, money and stuff, you can sort of give them an idea as to what you want it to be invested in. So by the time it's time to go to school, you know, you're going to have all the money you need, and you won't have to go on that thing called OSAP, which is just something that just sort of stays with you for longer than it needs to. So let's jump right in. And then, of course, you know, Stacey's going to monitor the chat for me, and I'll also try and look at it. And we'll try and answer the questions as we go along, right? Because it is, you know, quite a bit of information, but we're going to try and make it fun, okay? So let's get started. So imagine, you know, you're visiting a foreign country. I don't know how many people have traveled that are in the Zoom today, but let's say you went away, and I saw some people talking about Trinidad and Jamaica. So I know some of you have been some places. And you know, you never knew the language though. So let's say that it was another language other than English, you know, and you'd probably agree with me that, you know, it's probably difficult to try and get around, you know, try to get shopping done, try to ask for directions. If you didn't know the language, it probably is pretty tough, you know. But what happens with personal finance, it's like its own language. It has its own sort of things around it, you know, things that you have to sort of know, some terms, some different words and such. And if you don't know those things, you know, like when you're talking about money, then it's kind of hard to sort of do it. So we really want to, and I love what Stacey's done here with KiddieNomics, is really try and give you guys what we didn't have, quite frankly, which is just some financial literacy. So when, so we're talking about saving, we're talking about investing, you know, spending, you know, those things, you know, don't have to be as difficult as they sound initially if you have a little bit of knowledge. So my key here today is just to try and give you a little bit of information on mutual funds. Okay, so let's jump in. So mutual funds, you know, really what it is just a type of investment, you know, and what it does is that it uses money from investors. So, you know, people who have money to put in, to invest, you know, and they put them into different types of securities, they're called. And securities, not necessarily protection securities, but these are the things that are tools to actually invest money in. So there's stocks, there's bonds, and there are different types of investment securities out there. And what they would do is they pool their money together. So they're going to give the fund manager. So let's say everybody in KiddieNomics today, we have 21 people here, and everybody brought their piggy bank, and we broke those things open, right? You know, and we put all the money together, and we just put it in one big bag. And, you know, we go and give somebody that's going to now manage that money for us, try and invest it to try and get you a return. So I think I have here a nice little graph that will probably speak to what we're talking about. So at the top part, you see the three people, the three orange people, right? And those are our investors. So that's everyone. That's what they're representing there. You know, so those are the people that have some money. And what we're saying here in this graph, let me see if I can make it bigger. Does that help? There we go. Yeah. So what they're going to do is they're going to go ahead and pool the money together. So we mean like, so we just put it all in a big pile. Just get like a big bag, like what Santa Claus carries around. There's no such thing, but that's okay. I don't want to burst bubbles. And, you know, we put all the money inside this bag. And then we're going to give it to the orange guy here in the tie. You know, that's our fund manager. He's the one that's going to take all that money now, and he's going to go and try and put it in some securities for us. See, so he's going to pick the different things that he thinks are right for us to invest in, so we can actually make money on our money.
Mr. Zamal,
yes.
can you see me?
Sounds good. Go ahead.
Mr. Zamal, can you see me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, good. So when you see me raise my hand, it's because either the
it's a time, so it stops sharing time. Okay.
No, keep your presentation open.
Oh,
It just means that
okay.
kids have a question or Mickey
Oh, okay.
has a question.
No problem.
Mickey
Go
has
ahead.
her hand up because she has a question. So keep your screen open. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, so just like in a bank, when you want to send some money into your bank account, it's basically the person who's putting the money into your bank account.
Who?
Like when you give when you like wanna put money into your bank account, and the
Right.
money go to the person who puts them, like the fund manager. Isn't
Oh, she's saying how? I guess she's asking. Are you asking how do you give
No,
the money to the
no,
fund
I'm
manager?
asking if that's what they do. They put the money into your bank account.
Does the
Like,
fund when you go to
Okay.
the-
I think I got the gist of the question. So Michaela wants to know that if just like how one can deposit money in their bank account, you know, that they're saving, is it a similar idea? Is that what you're asking, Michaela?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a little similar. It's not just as simple as a bank account though. So it's going to be a series of different things that they call securities. But it's like giving your money to someone to do, you know, what they do best, which is to invest. And then so that money that you put in there actually makes some money. So the difference is when you put your money in a bank account, you're hoping that the bank actually pays you something. And, you know, I'm probably Mama shared with you already, but we don't really pay much bank accounts, unfortunately. So that's why we have to use different tools, and mutual funds is just one of those tools that we can actually make something more than say a regular bank account, but we can't do it ourselves. We need somebody that actually is licensed. So the fund manager actually has gone to school, done some, you know, some designations and different things, and have come up with, you know, ways to actually invest money, and they do it on behalf of other people. So the investors are like us. We're going to give them the money because they know more than us, and we're going to trust that they'll be able to find the right securities to put it in so they can actually generate what's called a return, which is that interest. So let's say all of us together were able to put together $1,000. Like, so all 22 of us that are on the line together, everybody did different. Some people had 100, some people had 75 in their piggy bank, some people had $10, whatever the case is, but we're able to actually put together 1,000 on behalf of all of us. And we gave the fund manager this money. And now he or she is going to go ahead now, find some securities to invest that 1,000, so that 1,000 can now grow to be more than 1,000, like 1,500, probably even double. And that's sort of like how it works. And then once the returns are made, you can see here in the graph, that's going to be passed down to every one of the 22 of us. But remember that everybody gave a different amount of money, right? So everybody makes the same return, but they actually are going to be able to, because you put, Michaela, you put 100, I only put 50. We all made 5%, but obviously 5% of 100 is more than 5% of $50, right? So it's a way for everybody to get the same return. Obviously not everybody making the same investment. Does that make sense? Okay, so another question, go ahead.
Ask the kids. Micah says yes, he understands.
Okay.
Danny's always great by summing up everything that one of our experts say. So he's awesome. So I think what he wrote is correct. Ahead and find some securities investment. I should tell them not. Can you? Okay, hold on. Sorry, Danny. Let me read together. Everybody to just be able to put together 1,000 on behalf of all of us. Is the money going to go ahead and find? Or should I?
Yeah, I'm reading it as well here too. Let me see. I just got it here. They were really active in the chat. It's really cool.
Yeah,
So,
I told you.
yeah, when I got there, it was like
told you.
87 messages. I'm like,
because I didn't hear him so well. Okay, so I think Danny was trying to sum up exactly what you said. But
yes.
But I think what he wrote is correct.
Yes, I just read it to myself. Yes, so Danny is correct. Yes.
All
So
right,
when it
perfect.
goes from 1,000 to 1,500, and then they pass it back to us, Danny. That's correct. That is correct.
Perfect. And
Awesome.
Drew T wrote in what is a mutual fund and put in the definition, which is awesome. So does everybody understand what a mutual fund is and how it works? Is there any questions from what Mr. Zamal just said? Half of the words you said, I have no idea what they mean. That's Josh. So we need to go back. Mr. Zamal, if you can go back and
Sure.
explain it just a little bit more simpler for the kids.
Which are we talking about, the graph or what specifically, Josh, did you want to?
Josh, can you let us know which part was you didn't understand? Does the manager, I like Carlene's question. While you write that in, Josh, I'm going to go on to Carlene's question. Does the manager take the, I think, money and put it in a place to be securitized?
Oh yes, that's pretty much what he does. He or she does, right? So they're really working on behalf of the 22 of us. So they're going to know, and so they're basically the placeholder, and they're going to find the different securities to put the money in on behalf of us because they have the designation, they have the ability to, and we don't. But that's correct. Can you give it in a KID definition? So that's okay. So a KID definition is, I tried my best, and it was
into an analogy or
right.
An analogy that the kids would understand from what is an investor, the mutual fund manager.
Okay, sure. Let's try this way.
Mhm.
So who has a cell phone? Like who has a cell phone or yeah? Okay, of course, iPhone to be exact. Let's go with that. So let's assume that we all have iPhones, right? So we understand where that comes from. The manufacturer is Apple. Everybody knows that company, right? So think of the Apple stock. So the stock is actually a way you can actually own a company. You can own a share. It's just the unit that is the smallest divisible unit that you can use to say that you have an ownership in it. Now, Apple stock, I think it goes right now for about $2,300 a share. You got a question?
Sorry, Mr. Zamal, 1 second.
Sure.
Does everybody understand what a stock is? So we have reviewed stocks on KiddieNomics, in case you don't. That is another video. So if you check our KiddieNomics YouTube channel, we have reviewed stocks before. But if you do not, can you just give what a simple form of a version of what a stock is, Mr. Zamal, for
Sure. Let's do that. So a stock is it's like, what am I going to compare it to? So it's your way of owning a piece of a publicly traded company. So a company like Apple, let's continue to speak on that because you guys understand the electronic stuff. So Apple, if you wanted to say you want to have a piece of Apple, not the bite that's in the thing, but like you own a piece of Apple, it's a stock. So if you own a piece of a stock or even one stock of Apple, you're owner. I know there's millions of shares, but the stock is that share. It's the very smallest amount of ownership in a company. So that's what it really is. So what we are able to do in a mutual fund, as opposed to you doing it yourself, instead of each of the 21 of us trying to do it ourselves and try to buy, try to raise $2,300 for one share, we're going to put our monies together and give the fund manager, and he or she can buy a lot more for us because we're pooled our money together. So it's bringing monies together to get a chance to buy more things than you could have done by yourself. Does that make a little more sense, Josh? That's not sure.
Not you. that was.
Okay.
Does everybody understand? Carlene says yes, which is great.
Okay.
Josh says it makes more sense.
Awesome.
Yes. Yay, that's awesome. Did that make sense?
That is good. That's good. So let's sort of talk about the different types of mutual funds, because there's, so we're gonna go to the next slide here. And and there are a lot of different types of mutual funds. So there's ones that are for the shorter term, and I mean terms are really relative. It really, some people think 3 months is a term, 1 year, but if we're talking about funds, I'd say probably anything less than 12 months. So 1 calendar year would be sort of like a short term thing, can go from 1 year all the way up to probably 3 years in this example here. Really monies that you might need relatively quickly. So, so high liquidity, that means money that can actually be turned from out of the security that it's invested in into actual cash. So how quick can we sell something and realize the cash, get the money for it? That's high liquidity. Then you talk about less impact on the rate cuts. A little deeper, we don't really have to really talk about more about that, but the other point is key, higher returns than the savings scheme. So to Michaela's point, like bank accounts, like I mentioned, not much interest, but once you can put it into, say, a short-term mutual fund, you're going to make a lot more returns. So that money can grow faster in a short-term mutual fund versus a bank account. And then we can just sort of look at long-term now. So long-term is like a lot of you kids on the line probably not going to go to school for, I mean, when I say school, university or college, for at least probably 10 years, 8 to 10 years maybe for you, some of you, right? So that's a longer term period of time. Anything over 5 years, we call it, generally that's a long-term period. And now we can actually get a chance to get deeper into the investments field, try and find things that are actually going to make some profit over the period of time. And then you can do, compounding, which is another way to make money upon money. So think of, you think of any sort of compound just means it's growing much faster because it's building on itself each and every time.
Okay. So does everyone understand the difference between what is a short-term mutual fund versus a long-term mutual fund? Carlene says, I don't understand higher returns than saving schemes.
Okay, let's go over that again, Kain. So savings schemes are pretty much bank accounts. So if you just stick your money in a bank account, or technically right now, because they don't pay anything, you can stick your money in your piggy bank. They pay about the same amount. Like, it just means that you're putting your money away, but you're doing all the work. The bank account doesn't work your money to give you a return. So higher returns than that. Go ahead.
Sorry, so return, you mean interest?
Yes, we're talking money on your money. That's a return. Money coming back to you, returning back to your money.
Okay, so I think the kids may understand interest to see their money.
Okay, they know the word interest. Okay,
Yeah.
so we can use that word. So return, interest, growth, money coming back to your money. That's the higher the higher interest. So higher interest than a bank account. Let's just swap those words for more understanding there.
Do you typically make any interest in a bank account? So these kids all have kids accounts because our age group is from 8 to 13.
Yes.
So they typically all have kids accounts. Are they earning any interest, or do bank accounts earn interest?
Right, not much. I mean, there's something there, but like my mom would always, nothing to write home about. Like, you're not breaking the bank by the interest earned in a bank account. So most times than not, your parents are probably, though the money is going into the kid account, they're also trying to find another type of investment to try and make more interest, more return, so more money can grow on the money you're putting away.
So you would necessarily want to use a mutual fund over a bank account because you have the potential of gaining more interest?
Correct. Because I mean, the whole purpose of having money anywhere at all is to have it grow. So, but you have to do your part, and your part is to find the right vehicle, find the right investment that actually can make it grow. And then the investment has to do its part, which is to grow, right? So bank accounts limit your ability to get interest.
Okay, does everybody understand that? Please let me know in the chat box. Mickey, did you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay, Mickey says yes. Does everybody else understand that? Josh says yes. Yes, says Micah. Awesome. Hey, Micah. Hey, Layla. Yes. So we're getting, Carlene says, I guess.
I guess. Is that a yes, Carlene?
Yeah, let us know. That's a yes. Well, kind, I think she's saying.
I know she's trying to say, yeah.
Okay.
It will come, yeah, it takes a little while to get it, but I mean, the key here is that there's other investments other than your bank account that will make you more interest than the bank account, and mutual fund is just one of them. That's just the bottom line. Mm-hmm. So let's look at quickly, because I see the time started going. Let's look at the types of mutual funds just to give you an idea of that, because this is the world that I live in, guys, ladies and gentlemen. Like it's boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. It's like over 8,000 mutual funds in Canada alone. Like it's a lot, right? So and that's why it's so, no, it's not April Fool's, Jumir, it's real. Like it's over 8,000 of them here. So so it's one of those things where there are different types, and I just wanted to sort of give an idea of just a few of them, right? So we're just going to talk about open ends and closed end funds, and then the the different loads, and we'll sort of keep it there because even after that, there's more. But just for you guys at this stage in this just sort of crash course of a 101 thing, open-end funds. So what that means is that you can buy and sell them at whenever you want. So there's really no restrictions on buying these types of mutual funds. So, you can buy them and sell them when you want. There's unlimited number of units that you can buy. There's no restrictions, like I mentioned. Whatever the price is, you can get it. So open-end is pretty easy. The closed-ended one is the one that has, a little more restrictions, a little more, things that you have to follow along, more rules, if you will. So there's only a certain amount that one could purchase. They're bought and sold over the different ways that, there are rules and regulations as to how much you can buy and sell depending on how many there are. So those are the two different types, open and closed. But then you also have loads. So you see that in the, let's see if I can make this bigger here. Load funds. So you have funds that actually have a load and you have funds that have no load. What does the load mean? It's just the cost of paying for the fund. You actually have to pay for, they're not free, right? They're financial instruments that the bank charges overall the fund. So, so everybody pays the same amount. So if the 21 of us were going to give our monies together in that big bag, as we talked about, we pool our money together. You understand what he's saying? And let me just slow down a little bit here, Stace. I just saw a question here.
Yes.
You don't understand what he means with the load. Yeah.
Yes. So
okay.
When
Can you hear me clearly? Maybe I'm not.
Yeah, no, they can hear you. It's just, these are terms that
of course
reviewed before.
Okay, so let's slow down a little bit. Let's talk about load. So the load is the, think of it as, let me try and think of some, so think of it as going to school. Okay, so you guys all go to school, you have your school bag, right? So this load is like chemistry book. Then only two of us like chemistry, Caroline and Natalie and myself, three of us. That's the load. When you have to put that textbook into that bag just becomes way more heavy. So if you are the mutual fund and the bag is on your back and the load is now the textbook, so there's a cost to it because now things become harder. So in the case of a mutual fund, the load is something that you have to pay to buy that fund. So for some funds just have more costs than others. And that's what the load is. So it's an extra thing that you have to carry, an extra thing you have to pay for to actually have that particular mutual fund. Does that make sense?
Does that make sense? Do you understand what a load is now? Josh says yes.
Okay, good, Josh. I think it was Josh's question too. So how about Danny? Does Danny understand? Because he was the one that raised the question.
No, Danny says no.
He doesn't understand. Okay. So Dan, if you think of a load as a cost, so a charge. So like if you go, when you go to the movies and you there's a charge to do it, but you can actually get some better seats and there's another Josh is funny, another extra price. So sometimes there's your regular cost and sometimes actually things cost a little more. The load is that little more. It's that extra. So some funds don't have it. And some funds do have it, depending on which ones you're looking to purchase. Hopefully that makes a little more sense.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Yeah, you got it, Danny. That's exactly what I mean. So if you want a better, interest, or that's what they say, because nobody can guarantee these things. That's another thing. You can't guarantee interest with mutual funds, but when you look at the performance, some might have better performance, so better seating. And then you might have to pay that load. So that's correct. I like how you said that. That makes sense.
Sorry, just 1 second. Guys,
yeah, go ahead.
If you have your hand raised, don't forget that you have to type your question in the chat box for me to answer or ask your question because we cannot see or hear you. So Micah, your hand is raised. You got to type your question in the chat box, okay? Unless you have it up accidentally, which happens.
So do we have any?
Micah has a question here. Are you able to withdraw some of your money at some point from the mutual funds, or do you have to wait until the investment term comes to an end? Oh, that's a great question, Micah.
Wow, that is a very solid question. So thank you for your question, Micah. So so that's a great question, and I'll tell you why. So remember when we were talking about the definition of a mutual fund, and I sort of said it's pooled money. Remember I said we're gonna, it's 24 people are joining, 24 people now pooling the money together. So if you think of a mutual fund with that word pool, and I'm sure you all been to the pool before, or the beach, you can jump into a pool and you can come out of a pool. So, and that's how easy a mutual fund is as well too, to get in and out. So to your point, you might have, that long-term time frame, okay, from between now and going to university, whether it's 10 years, 8 years. But if something comes up and there's an emergency, in 2 years in or 3 years in, yeah, for sure, you can come out of it just as easy as you got into it. Good question.
Did that answer your question, Micah? Zamal, Micah's joining us from England.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right, Micah. Nice. What time is it there? Like, it's probably, well, tomorrow's the weekend, so it's all good. Welcome, Micah. That's awesome.
Let me just see. Timmy, a loan is different from the load that Mr. Zamal is talking about. To answer your question.
Oh, so LOAD, the load, yeah, definitely different from a loan for sure. Loan, the loan is more on the credit side. We're talking about the investment side. Yeah, but good spot.
Okay, I don't think, does anybody else have any questions? Go ahead, Mr. Zamal, I think you can continue.
Okay, awesome. So I guess at the end of the day, when I really just wanted to touch on the types of mutual funds out there. And like I said, there's way more than just this. This is really, I call this the 30,000 feet level, right? Then you can really break it down some more, and there are a whole heap of different types all the way. So we have funds that are very secure, right? So in terms of asset classes, now we're going to talk about types again of funds. So funds that are very secure, meaning no risk at all, can't lose your money in there. What's this question here? I just saw something come up again.
Okay. Danny, I'll answer your question. But this is investments, not on real estate.
Yeah, but you can put your money in investment to raise, then you can get your down payment. But we'll let Stacey and others more. Yeah, you have. Go ahead, Mikhail. Go ahead.
What was my question again? Oh yeah. So if you invest in like a company, you can invest in a company.
Can you invest in a company? Yeah.
So how much money can you make?
Yeah, that's a great question. Like, I mean, and it really depends on how good that company is, right? And that's one of the main reasons why we with a mutual fund, not only would you invest in a company, but when you give your money, the pooled money, to the fund manager, he or she are going to invest in hundreds of companies. Because the key for this is, like, we don't know which one is going to be that one, right? So what you do, and this is a good point, I'm glad you brought this up, is you try and diversify, you try and spread your money amongst different companies. And that's another reason why you have the mutual fund. Because if to your point, put all your eggs, you probably hear your parents say this, some of you, like, all the eggs in one basket. You never want to sort of do that, because you're really saying that's the only company that can do it. And if you're disappointed, then you lose out on the time. But if we're able now to give the fund manager, because they have so much money, because all of us together is a lot more, they'll be able to buy 10, 20, 100 different companies. And now we don't have to know which one, because we're assuming that, the assumption is that they're going to pick all of them, and all of them are good, but not all of them will happen the way we want it in the same year. So spread your money amongst things in the mutual fund, and know, if some, the probability, it's called, right? So a probability of having some do good and some not as good is greater when you have more things than if you just have the one company. I don't know if that makes sense, hopefully.
Awesome.
So if I invest in Gucci, I'll be rich?
Yeah, I know what she's saying.
She said if she invests in Gucci, will she be rich?
I mean, hey, listen, Gucci's one of the companies, girl. I'm done with you too, but I wouldn't put everything in one. That's what I'm saying. So I'd buy Gucci, Dior, we're gonna have, some Michael Kors. We're gonna have to spread it, and that's why we want a fund that has all those things. But you'll be on your way though, that's for sure. That's for
I have a
sure.
question from Zoe. They want to know if you want to go to college or university, but decide later on you don't want to, but you have money saved for it already, what do you do?
Wow. Well, first of all, I want to thank Zoe for jumping onto KiddieNomics. That's my daughter. She's 11, going on 21. And I told her that she had to come on today. So so great question, Zoe. That's actually a very good question. I know you mean it hypothetically because you are going to college, but let's pretend let's just pretend that whoever this person is had this scenario that you drew up. So great question. I guess it really depends on if the money is in one of those what's called a registered education and savings plan. So no, that is a specific type of vehicle geared towards education, and the government actually is giving money's put in that program for education. So if you chose, or for whatever reason, the person that in this scenario did not go to school, then the government is going to want back their money because it's not going to be used for school. So if it's in a program like that, there's some rules and there's some restrictions and there's some policies that monies might have to get given back. But if you're just saving money just generally, and you sort of said to yourself, this is for school, and then for whatever reason, the mind has changed, but that money was not in one of these programs, then, I mean, you can change your mind. Investment objectives can change. And if investment objectives change, then the investment can change for another type of objective. So, but good question. But I know that's not going to happen to anybody in KiddieNomics because you're all going to school, all of you.
Education is key. So we do believe in education around here, but we also believe in if you want to be an entrepreneur or there's other avenues,
absolutely. But if you want to be an entrepreneur and make all that money, you want to go to school to sort of know a little bit about the money too. So I think both are great, and absolutely, I love it.
I do have a definition from Josh. One second. Do you have a definition from Josh? And so he just wants to confirm, or
yes,
we want to confirm what this their definition of what a mutual fund is. So they write, when you invest in a fund, your and other investors' money is pooled together. A fund manager then buys and holds and sells investments on your behalf. All funds are made up of a mix of investments. This is what diversify or spread your risk. That's what I think a fund is.
That's spot on. That's as perfect as you can get, Josh. That's exactly what it is. And even with some other broader parts of it that you've sort of touched on, which is the diversification, which is very important with a fund, right? Because one of the main advantages of actually owning one is that instead of you saying, if you're so lucky to buy a whole share of Apple one day, I'm sure we all will be, when you own a mutual fund, you can say you own Apple, Google, Gucci for McKell. There's all these companies you own in the one mutual fund. And that's the good thing, right? Because again, ownership is not the way it used to be where you have to hold something tangible. So, you can, as long as you are invested in something that's invested in something, then you own a part of that something. And that's how the mutual fund gives you an opportunity to own a lot of things without you actually have to go pay for each of those things yourself.
Perfect. All right, Josh has another question.
Sure.
And so he also wrote, that's his mom helping him type. So hi, Josh's mom.
Hey, Josh, mom.
We appreciate all the parents that help join us on KiddieNomics with their kids. It is a family learning event, so we love that. But Josh has another question. Can you deposit a fund? Also, is a fund a legal entity? Those are really good questions.
So so let's take them one at a time. So when you say deposit a fund, I'm not sure. Can you expand on that a little bit, Josh? Do you mean like contribute to a fund, like put money into a fund, or? Yeah, okay, perfect. Yeah, so yes, for sure. And you can even set up a pre-authorized payment to go into that fund on a regular basis too. So instead of waiting on you to remember to put the money in when you get your birthday money or whatever the case is, mom or dad could actually set up something automatically, and that also helps because the more times you put money in a fund, the lower that price is, the average price is for purchasing that fund. That's a whole nother thing I wasn't going to get too much into. It's called dollar cost averaging. So yeah, go ahead, Stacey.
I hope hopefully you got that. Micah has a question. Are there any tax benefits for investing in mutual funds? Didn't I tell you that KiddieNomics kids are so smart? Like, look at these
Wow.
questions. I bet you didn't expect to get these type of questions, did you?
No. I wish my clients would ask some of these questions. Yeah, so great question. Who is that from?
Micah.
Micah, great question, Micah. So it depends on what plan you put the fund in. So if you think of the mutual fund as a vehicle, like a car, right? And then you think of, say, registered accounts as like a different type of garage. So registered accounts just means government plans. So you probably hear your parents talk about RSPs and tax. So RSPs is that garage that if you buy a mutual fund in there, you're going to get a tax benefit from that. Yes, so great question. The other ones, you actually have to pay taxes on the money that you make. So that's a whole nother thing, so that's where it comes, more money, more problems. But that's a whole nother thing.
Okay, so I'm gonna do, because in the interest of time, we will have Zamal back on KiddieNomics, hopefully.
Absolutely.
Part 2 of
Josh is serious.
But we have a question from Mickey, and then Danny, I'll get to your question, and then we're gonna wrap up. Okay, everybody?
Hi. So why do schools not teach us this? Because I really want to know if we're supposed to help us learn and stuff, and taxes and stuff are a really big step up in our lives when we're older, and so I think they should teach us that, but I just don't know why schools don't teach us that.
Oh, that's a very good point.
I missed that part. Go ahead, wrap it. Say it again.
So she wants to know, why doesn't school teach us any of this that we're learning about mutual funds? Because this is really important for her to know, and she would love to know why school doesn't teach them this. But this is why you guys have KiddieNomics. That's
right. Listen, hey, you know what, Michaela, I totally agree with you. Like, and that's why you guys, God bless Stacey and different parents that do different things like these, because financial literacy is something that's still very missing in the Canadian education system. I totally agree with you, and it's something that I guess it's for us as parents to sort of make sure that our kids understand at least some of it, right? Like, you can't get everything, but you just need to have a foundation. And KiddieNomics is obviously way more than a foundation based on some of these questions. So we can keep asking, we can ask why, but there are people that are doing something about it, and we're grateful that you guys are taking the opportunity. I mean, we have Tim from all the way from UK, so I mean, there's a thirst and a knowledge for it, and we're just grateful to be a part of a program like what Stacey has here to provide the information.
Thank you. All right, Danny, I'm going to ask your question. I think, Micah, your question, you got the answer for your question, so I think you're good. So let's go to Josh's question. Danny's question. Danny, can you invest in Bitcoin and then have your stocks go up and down, but then in the end your stocks go up because of your last investment, and because your last investment we had lots of money, but not like, oh, okay, wait, sorry, this is the question. How does Bitcoin improve your money earning skills in your company? Okay, sorry, Dan, you're gonna have to, if you can quickly retype your question, I can get Mr. Zamal to ask the question. However, we do have a webinar on Bitcoins and on the crypto world on our KiddieNomics YouTube channel. So if you scroll down, you're gonna have to scroll down a lot. It was in the first year of KiddieNomics. So I think if you go to season 1 of KiddieNomics, you will find it in that season. That helps to explain what Bitcoins is and how does it work. And then we do have one for the crypto, what is crypto. So if you go to season 1 of KiddieNomics, you'll find it there. However, I will be doing another session on Bitcoin, so that will be coming up, okay? So stay tuned for that one. Mr. Zamal.
Yeah, I saw this question from Dion. Can we touch on that real quick before we wrap?
What, Bitcoins?
About the leverage. I think I saw a question from Dion said here, use a leverage loan to purchase a mutual fund.
Oh yeah, that's a great question. Go ahead.
Yeah, super great. So, I mean, so this is now where, we get into the savvy type of investors, right? And those that I call have the investment stomach, because really what you're doing now is using other people's money, right? So leverage, just for those who don't know, means that it's borrowed money, right? It's money that is not yours. What you're hoping to do in a situation like that is to borrow it at an interest rate that is lower than the interest rate you're going to get as a return when you invest it. So let's say we borrowed it at 2%, but we're going to take that borrowed money, put it into a mutual fund and make 10%. So then the difference from 2 and 10 is the 8 that you get to keep. You pay the 2 for the leverage loan, and you keep the 8, although you made 10. So great question. Yes, you can. And I mean, it's really one of those things that you have to be very, very disciplined to make sure that it doesn't get carried away, obviously, right? But that's a great question, and it's always works in the interest rate environment that's low.
Perfect. Well, Mr. Zamal, thank you so much. Did you have anything else, Mr. Zamal?
No, I'm just so excited. I can't believe you're right. Yeah, you told me it was going to happen, but I was like, oh, come on, they're 8 to 13. What kind of questions can they have? But yeah, no, you guys have been awesome, really impressive. I love the way the mind is thinking. I really love the way, the program is set up so you can see the visual, and then you in the chat, you ask your questions and I can actually hear the thoughts working. So congratulations for everyone that's here tonight. And I was just happy to be a part of it.
Well, thank you so much for joining the KiddieNomics community. We thank you for sharing your knowledge. So everybody, a big round of applause. Mr. Zamal, thank you so much. Mr.
You're
Zamal.
welcome.
Stop sharing
So
your
welcome.
screen. I will wrap up, and if you just stay on, then I will wrap up.
Yeah, for sure. Sounds good.
Everybody, let me just see. Danny, I'm gonna have to, your Bitcoins question, Danny. Okay, so if you invest in Bitcoins, how does it improve the company you invested in and the way it earns money? How much money does it earn? I think, does it always earn? Okay, so Danny, can we get to your question when we do our Bitcoins webinar? Because Bitcoins, yeah, well, you'll join us for that one, right, Danny? You won't miss the Bitcoins one, right? So you'll join us for that one, and we will get to that question when you join us for that one. Josh says, thank you for joining, Mr. Zamal. I have learned a bunch with this lesson. Thanks.
You're most welcome. Most welcome.
All right,
And
I'm going to
thanks
share my
everyone for
screen
joining.
to wrap up in 1 second. All right, so last question that we always ask, right? What would happen if kids became more financially literate? And our answer is
real change that impacts the world.
Real change that impacts the world. And why do we say that? Because we truly believe that here on KiddieNomics. We believe that the more financially literate that you guys become, the more you guys are going to take over the world. And I know that the kids here on KiddieNomics, you guys are going to do phenomenal things out there. And financial literacy is just going to help give you an even bigger boost in the platform of whatever it is that you want to do. So that's why we believe that. All right. So why do we call you guys our young financial literacy ambassadors? What is an ambassador, right? Ambassador is an authorized messenger or representative. And you guys represent us out there. All of you boys and girls, all of you guys out there in our KiddieNomics community, you represent us. Because you know what? I get messages from parents and other kids that tell me, oh, so-and-so was at their cousin's house and they were telling them all about stocks, or they were telling them about credit cards, or maybe mutual funds that you guys just learned about, right? You guys go out there and you guys share your information about what it is that you've learned here on KiddieNomics. And that's why we believe knowledge is our
superpower,
right? And why do we believe that? Because you guys have learned so much knowledge here, and we truly believe the more knowledge that you guys have out there and you guys go out and share it, the stronger that you'll become. And the stronger your family will become, and your friends and your community at large, right? So that's why we want you to go out there and be the superheroes that you are and share your knowledge, okay? All right, what is coming up on KiddieNomics? We have Mr. Neo. He is coming up next week, and we're going to be talking about the rule of 72. This one is awesome. Well, every KiddieNomics webinar is awesome. Like, honestly, you guys learned so much. I wish I learned this much when I was as young as you guys. But this one is awesome because the rule of 72 is what Albert Einstein called the eighth wonder of the world, right? So if you want to find out why that is and what does that really mean, you're going to join us next week, okay? The Friday after that, it is Good Friday. So there is no KiddieNomics. So no KiddieNomics on Friday, April 15th, okay? We will have a break from KiddieNomics, and then we will come back with Miss Cynthia and Miss Kimberly. They will be back on KiddieNomics talking about trademarking again and how to choose the right name. So if you missed part one of Miss Cynthia and Miss Kimberly, you can check out their first video on our KiddieNomics YouTube channel. What is trademarking? By the way, did we announce last week that we have now trademarked the KiddieNomics name?
Yeah.
Nobody can use it but us. So that's a really important thing because it keeps our KiddieNomics community so special and just for us. Yes, 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 Joshua, flex on them haters. That's right. What? Yes, Josh. All right. So we are going, so now KiddieNomics is trademarked. So we're going to talk about how to trademark or how to choose the right name in trademarking. And I guess Neil got cut off at the bottom. Hold on, let me see. Can I move it up? Oh, I'm in presentation mode. All right, well, okay. All right, well, Neil is the following week to wrap up the month of April, and it's going to be part 2 of investing with him. So that's the last week of April, which I don't have the date. I think it's the 29th. But anyways, we'll see next week. Anyway, so everybody, please remember that we always want to hear from you, okay? So I always want to hear new ideas. If you have a guest expert, excuse me, a guest expert that you think should be a great guest expert on KiddieNomics, please send me an email, let me know. Always, never contact me without your parents' permission, right? Hi, Mike, I see you raised your hand. Do you have a question? Type it in the chat box. Always remember to never send me an email without your parents' permission, of course. And of course, sorry, I'm losing my voice. 1 second. And I need to get rid of this box. How do I do that?
I can say the rest for you.
Yeah. Hold on. Why can't I get rid of the box? Because everything is.
Drag it down.
Yeah. All
Okay,
right.
I forgot
Well,
this
I
is
don't know.
my
It won't. Okay. Anyways, and of course, if you find value in our information that we share with you on KiddieNomics, please like and follow us on
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok.
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok, right? I kind of committed in my mind that the month of April, I'm gonna like dedicate a whole month to doing TikTok videos. So eventually, I'm going to get to that.
Yeah.
Mr. Zamal, do you do any TikTok videos? Oh,
No, but Zoe does. You have to get Zoe in. I don't do TikTok now.
That's exactly it. So I'm kind of like these, like all the kids, every time I gotta do some TikTok videos. Let me just see what they're saying here. All right. Yes. Yes, I know. I need to do some TikTok videos. All right. So I'm gonna try and dedicate a whole month to like producing some TikTok videos for everybody on KiddieNomics. So let me just see if I'll get to that. All right. Everybody have a wonderful weekend, and thank you again, Mr. Zamal, for coming on KiddieNomics. We so appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. You guys are awesome. Great audience, great questions. You guys have a great weekend.
Thank you so much. So everybody have a good weekend and bye.
Bye. That